What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. There's no stopping Boosie Badazz in 2016. When the year started, he kicked it off with Out My Feelings, Going Through It. I've talked about that album. I reviewed it. You can watch that on my channel. And February 5th, he gave us Out My Feelings in the Past. Now, this is the second project of the year, and it's a lot less introspective than Going Through It. Going Through It was a project of Boosie getting his feelings out there, dealing with finding out he had cancer and, family struggles, all types of stuff like that. And it was a lot shorter too. It was only 10 songs. But with Out the Past, Boosie kind of looks out to the world, I think. Obviously, it's not as introspective, but it's more along the lines of him being retrospective. He kind of looks back at his past a little bit, but he also looks towards, what's going on in the community. There's a record on there called World War VI, which is one of my favorites because it's like a cluster of what's going on in the world. He comments on everything from, Bill Cosby's rape allegations to Donald Trump versus El Chapo, AIDS and Ebola, cops killing kids. So much is going on in that record. And when I use the word cluster, I use it in like a good sense, not like a bad cluster. It's a good cluster because it's a really strong record. There's also a record called True where he reflects on love that he had in the past. I think it's another vulnerable side of Boosie that I like to see. And that's really one of the standout introspective songs on the project. And there's a few guest features on here. Now, it's weird because in iTunes, it's not credited as anybody on here. But when you listen, you can hear guest features. Some of them I didn't know who they were, so I didn't identify them. But the ones I did, there was Sly Glizzy, Slim Thug, and Sauce Walker. Those were the three that I were able to identify. And out of those three, I think Slim Thug is the only one that had really a memorable verse. And maybe it's just because the overall song, Wanna Be Heard, was a lot better than a record like Got It On Me, which is with Sly Glizzy. Now, not to take away from Sly Glizzy, I really haven't got into his music. I think it's the voice. I can't get past it. But I wasn't too big on the record because Got It On Me is just kind of like a generic street type of record. Like, any artist can make it. That's the one thing that I've always liked about my favorite Boosie records are him. They're like, the identity of the song is him. There's no, nobody else can make that type of song. It's basically what makes the best material. I don't feel like anybody can make a World War VI in the style of Boosie because Boosie just throws all that stuff into there. But like I said, I think that's one of the issues with Out the Past. Just because Boosie is, what's the word? What is he? It's 18 songs, okay? It's 18 songs, and I feel like for every good record, there's maybe one or two filler records. I don't feel like there's a whole bunch of songs on here that make me want to replay the album. There's a record on there called Big Blue Hundreds, and that one in itself is not really, too special. Like I said, it goes back to the whole Got It On Me thing, being a typical streets type of record with no real identity. Like, anybody can do the record. That's what plagues this album the most. There's a record on here called Uncle Tom, which is supposed to be Uncle Tom. Now, I don't know why Boosie thought this was the right record or something, because at times you can hear him say kind of Uncle Tom. It sounds like it, but I know he's talking about Uncle Tom. You hear the verses, he talks about, exactly what an Uncle Tom is. So I'm listening to the record and I'm confused why the E's there. I don't know. But that was one of the things that got on my nerves, and I wanted to talk about that real briefly. The other record I wanted to highlight was All Mixed in One. Now, the concept of this is very creative. It's Boosie basically comparing himself to all these different artists, kind of saying he's all of these artists wrapped into one, which is a very bold comment to make, but at the same time, he pulls it off. T.I., Tupac, Chief Keef, Eazy-E, Yo Gotti, 50 Cent, Fabulous, so many others. He does it in a creative way. He doesn't necessarily say, I'm this guy, I'm this guy, I'm this guy, I'm this guy. He kind of just like throws in different things, like he kind of throws in like Chief Keef's creativeness and Tupac's realness and stuff of that nature. It's a really good record, and it's also one of the standouts to me. But overall, I feel like In My Feelings Out the Past is one of those albums where I'll appreciate some of the records, but Out My Feelings in the Past. I've been saying it wrong the whole time. My bad. I think it's one of those albums that's gonna spawn maybe an EP of good material that I'll save. Like I said, I like the records where Boosie makes it known that these are the records that he makes, that nobody else can make it. And those are my thoughts on Out My Feelings in the Past. Let me know what you think about the album in the comment section below. And then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video. Follow me on Twitter at SermonsDomain. And as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching. And until next time, peace.